one big thing.
I try to explain this place to people, and it's difficult if you've never seen it. Somehow we've become this ubiquitous presence in your life, for some of it, maybe all of it. On in the corner of the bar, or your dorm, or your bedroom when you go to sleep, or your kitchen in the morning when you're getting up to get the kids off to school. Sometimes passively consuming, sometimes intently, or as Kenny Mayne has often said, we're background noise for sex. God, I hope not. Mood killer right here, no good. For 40 years, thousands of men and women have come to work 24/7, 365. Keith Olbermann described us as factory workers in a factory town in Brian Curtis's Ringer article this week about the big show. Glamorous? No, not really, but there's value in the work, and we put it in to earn and maintain the relationship that we have with you. I remember driving home after a show as a blizzard was arriving, and it was supposed to be a big one. The governor had banned all non-essential vehicles from the roads. A cop pulls up beside me on Route 84, and I just gave him a look and a shrug. He smiled, nodded. The show must go on. We can't exactly run bars in tone because there's some snow in the forecast. Every day's different. Most of them are a lot of fun, but nights like these, they're more than a little surreal because Dan and Keith, they weren't just a show, they were the big show, the yardstick the rest of us are judged by even now, and none of us really measure up. Any of us who came after stand on the shoulders of what they accomplished. It's why the very first guest we had on this version of SportsCenter was Dan. But Dan and Keith stood on the shoulders of so many others too. Grand and Mies, Berman and Lee, Gumbel, Marciano, Leonard, and on, the originals who built the joint. They planted a tiny little acorn and it grew into this mighty oak. Who knew? Certainly nobody then could have imagined the place this network would carve out in the zeitgeist. It's been said often, and it's worth it every time, that for every one of us you see, there have been hundreds behind the scenes, and all of them, past and present, are the place. They have been the fuel that makes the engine go, and it requires a staggering amount of energy and commitment to do so. Because one show ends and the tease for another is rolling, which means a camera is getting a shot, and a director is calling out cues, and one of us says, hello and welcome. It never really ends. Holidays and weekends often aren't, but in no way is this a sob story. We're not cops or teachers. We're servicemen. It's not some noble undertaking, honestly. We're a cable TV station in the middle of a small town in Connecticut that somehow became what it is, which is why, if you've never seen it, it's hard to explain. I will walk out tonight into the darkness in a mostly deserted parking lot of a town that went to sleep hours ago. I'll drive down an empty highway home, and I often wonder two things. Is all of this a ruse? I mean, are the cameras even on? Is any of this stuff plugged in? And I'll wonder how the hell it is that I get to be the one who does this at ESPN, my home, going on 20 years as they celebrate 40. And I will know a couple of things. I'm proud. It's my home. And I'm honored to call these men and women my colleagues.
I also wanted to thank the viewers. I wanted to have a nice thank you in memory of our dear friend Tom Mies, who meant so much to both Dan and myself, and of course to my tag team partner. Nothing will ever be the same again. Thank you for everything. Thank you for teaching me how to do this, and shut up.
Should I say something nice about you now?
If you can, 3 seconds.
Very fortunate to work with the most talented person in this business. He's now a newsman now, and I have one final word for him. Gone.
22 years later, here we sit. And I get the whole bit about Led Zeppelin, I do, and not wanting to do a reunion tour, but people, I'm sure, enjoy hearing the first few notes of Stairway to Heaven and knowing that you can still do it. I'm curious what you think about,
What, about more of this?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm doing this thing on every Monday at 4 o'clock in the
hell with
afternoon. Well, yeah, okay, you tell management the hell with it. All right. Oh, no, I didn't dare you to do that. Okay.
I was going to say, I'd take my cues from you. I'm sitting next to the guy that wrote the book.
It was good.
Wasn't this enough, though?
It was fun. But, the more I started thinking about it, you know what we should do?
What are you thinking about?
I think that we should announce right now that we should.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.